What's up, y'all? So, it's been a minute, like 10 days since my last upload, and the reason was because I wasn't really recording any live games. I'm going to do more of those in the future, um, but I don't know. I just haven't really been in the mood of recording like live games. But I hit 2,000 Blitz, which I'm happy of. But as you guys see, it's July 7th or July 8th when I'm uploading this. I hit 2,000 actually, through like 5 days ago, but I tilted so bad. Like, if you look at this chart, I dropped all the way to like 1830. Like, if you guys see, it's 2,000. Like, I mean, if you go all time, like it should show. Yeah, this massive drop. I dropped like so many elo because I won my first game past 2,000. It was a really nice game. And I then had a second game which I had a very nice tactic, but I just like mentally so basically my opponent, so my bishop and queen, like I revealed attack threatening mate and he just sacked his queen for the bishop, and my pawn was guarding the bishop, but he did it so quickly. I was like, oh my god, this guy has some ulterior motive. And I just didn't take the queen, and I just moved my rook to attack the queen like a idiot, and that just caused me to tilt all the way down to like 1840. I was literally just playing games, but I got back to 2,000 literally today, like, and I had some pretty cool games, and I guess this is gonna be a video on saying like how I got to 2,000 Blitz, and I guess the road to 2,000's over. I'm gonna try to get to 2,300. And yeah, so I guess I'll just like cut to a couple of games on my road to 2,000. I guess like cool games. Talk about them and talk about some things you can do to, improve your game. So, and hopefully I'll have some live commentary games. I might take a slight break because, like I said, I know I played like 200 games over the past 7 days because I was just tilted. Honestly, it wasn't even like I wanted to play. I was just so tilted. So yeah, that was a long-winded intro, and we'll get into like the first game. This game was against this Marci Matikas guy. And this is like after I tilted. All these games are actually after my tilted, not when I originally got to 2,000. So I think this is the game. Yeah, this is the game. I also played this guy another time. This guy must suck because he got obliterated. Oh, he got obliterated by my Budapest. Yeah. Damn, yeah, okay. Well, it's not actually my Budapest, but I'll leave that up to you guys. So, this is not going to be like a really, like, analysis-heavy video. It's just going to be going through some tips and maybe, like, what I was thinking through the game. So, we start off with a Caro Kann, and this game wasn't accurate at all, but I thought this was a cool game to show because I found some really cool tactics. So, like, as you guys can see, I'll show you guys the accuracy. Like, yeah, it was like 67, 63, 49, but you guys see 3 brilliant, so you know it's going to be a good game. So, I play this thing called the Von Henning Gambit against the Caro Kann. I don't know if I've ever gotten this on video. It's a gambit that, it's very fun, and it's very simple. You have very simple attacking ideas, and it's pretty trappy. So, he plays e6 here, which kind of, blocks in his light squared bishop. So, I mean, immediately I already have an advantage out of the opening. And also, I'm not even gambiting a pawn. So, I have this big center, and he's blocked in his light square bishop, which you can put on the d3 square, and it becomes kind of a laser in the king's position. So, castles, I bring my bishop back, I castle. I take here, and I don't know if taking is the most accurate here. I was thinking of just going queen e1, queen h4, because that's the whole idea of the opening. To kind of coordinate with the bishop and queen on this h7 square. And if they ever move it, there's ideas to sack the dark squared bishop, like if you guys can see, for example, if let's just say here, like this is not what I'd play obviously, but like right away this is already like a pretty big threat, because if this knight ever moves away, I mean he could move here actually, but you're gonna be sacking it back, right? Like best case scenario, because let's say he moves it, I don't know, here. It's mate. So that's the whole idea. You can use, there's ideas to sack this rook in some positions, just putting a lot of pressure on this h7 square. There's also ideas to, if they play something like this to just get rid of that whole shebang. You can even sack here. So Von Handing Gambit's very like simple attacking ideas. So he gives a check. I go bishop here, and I'm sure this is like all inaccurate. I know there was some sort of, yeah, here I was actually debating of sacking the bishop, and Engine actually thinks it's the best move if I remember correctly. Sacking the bishop here. Bishop xh6. I don't know if it's gonna show. Yeah, it says it's brilliant. So that's not what I played. I was like, okay, I don't really want to move my bishop. I want to just attack. Well, I'll at least get rid of this knight, and he'll have double G pawns, and I can potentially attack on the H file. Maybe I can get my queen to like H3 or something, you know. And also it kind of closes off this light squared bishop permanently, because if he moves his E pawn, you know, the bishop can get back into the game. But so he moves his knight here, and I just threatened mate. And I'm pretty sure this is inaccurate, but I was like, okay, queen E4, threatening mate. If he pushes the pawn, I take. And here's actually where I started calculating some crazy sacrifice lines. So he does move the G pawn, I take, and I was like, okay, if he moves his, so he takes here, he moves the rook, and I was like, here, I really want to go knight G5, but he just takes. And then what do I have there? I was like, okay, maybe I can sack the queen. And then I was like, oh my god, I can go knight G5 anyways. He takes, and I can sack the rook on F7. And that's what happens. And he doesn't accept the sacrifice because it's just mate. He accepts that this is just mate. So he can't take. And also, if he just ignores this knight, like, it's also gonna just go into his position. And once this E pawn or this F pawn is gone, you know, go for the G pawn. So I guess this was like the cool tactic. I thought this was super cool. And I even like I go here. Apparently this isn't the best move, but they gave it a brilliant still. And here it's like, and here this is just mate. I don't know, or not here. My bad. It's just mate. I just need to take here, and it's like there's nothing he can do. And I didn't see that, but at this point it was super low on time. And I think what ended happening was I just got like massive material. I think I just won his queen or something. Or not won his queen, but like, I mean, I just won a ton of material. I'm threatening all sorts of nasty stuff. So I think that was the first game, and you know, it was really like a cool sacrifice. The game was super messy, like I said. Like, I mean, you go through the game, it just, you know, bunch of inaccuracies, bunch of mistakes. You know, taking was a mistake. This is a blunder, but I thought this was a cool tactic that I found. Knight G5. I thought it was a really nice idea to sack the rook, because I saw this all ahead. I was like, okay, I sacked the bishop and I sacked the rook. You know, I thought it was a cool idea, and you know, and I guess that's like my first tip. You gotta look, like, go on the road to if you want to become a 2,000 plus player, like, you need to what's it called? Like, you need to, like, really, especially in Blitz, tactical awareness is key. You need to put lots of pressure on your opponent, and you need to look for these sacrifices. You need to always look at these sacrifices. I think that's the biggest thing in setting up these sacrifices, you know? And I don't know if I have a perfect example in a game, but there's another concept I want to talk about too. But yeah, that was the first game. So this next game is against the 2100. And like I said, the game, it's I actually got to, this is like my game yesterday. I got to 1996 off of this game, and then I lost. I rematched him again because I was farming him. I beat him again, so that's besides the point. So yeah, we get into a Sicilian, and I like to play against knight. I like to get this Portsmouth Gambit. It's like a wing gambit, and it's very tricky, and it gets a lot of high level players. Like here, this is already a mistake. I get a giant space advantage, but this is a position in which I lose a lot, actually, unfortunately. And how do I put it? Converting advantages is also another big key in getting to 2,000. And one of the biggest things, if you want to be like 2,000, even beyond 2,000, this isn't even just like 2,000. I'm just saying 2,000 because it's kind of a gimmick, like how to get to 2,000. Like, you're not going to just get to 2,000 just by watching this video. I'm going to be honest. You have to apply the concepts. But one of the things you need to do is knowing when you have an advantage, knowing when to change the position, because sometimes it's something I do where I'll have a big advantage and I'll change the position too much. If you just steadily, like if you have a lock on the position, like a position like this, where they have no development, if you can just keep yourself ahead in development, slowly improve your pieces, maybe not slowly, but like there's no clear attack here. Like there's like in this position I've lost so many times. The main idea is to go bishop to c4. There's even bishop c5, b5 ideas. I don't know them that well, but bishop c4, castles, get your rook on e3, get your bishop, or get your rook on e1, get your bishop on a3 using this diagonal, and just put pressure on the king. That's the main idea. But sometimes, like, you kind of try to overwhelm yourself, like think, oh, I'm completely winning here, which you are. Like, you turn on the evaluation here, it's probably plus 2, yeah, plus 2. But it's not so simple. You don't want to make, you know, an abrupt change in the position, like sacrificing a piece when you don't have a clear, like, concrete follow-up. So that's what I did here. Like, castling, see, here in this type of position, I would think castling is too slow. But here it's perfectly fine. Like, objectively, like, intuitively, I might think it's too slow. But objectively, like, what is black going to do here? Like, they can't even develop this. They're going to have to develop this knight here. They can't really go here blocking their bishop. They're going to have to probably develop their bishop first. And even if they develop their bishop, they go knight here. This check, if this knight ever moves, like, if this knight on f6 ever moves, this check could be devastating. But besides the point, he plays a6 to prevent bishop b5, rook e1, you know. General improving moves, putting pressure on the king. The king is in the center, you're castled, like, I mean, just overwhelming lead in development. It's another reason why I like these openings where you gambit a pawn, get a massive lead in development. He goes queen here. I think he was thinking he was skewering me, and I think he actually was skewering me. I think I made a blunder here. I'd have to check with the engine. But, like, let me check with the engine. This is definitely a mistake. Queen e2. I mean, I don't know what else I would have played here. Yeah, look, it likes queen b3. Yeah, queen b3 is the obvious move. I don't know how I didn't see that. But, whatever. I play queen e2. He goes here. I go here counterattacking. I think he could have even taken like this. Right? I'm just screwed. Like, I don't know why he didn't take like this. Is he just completely winning? Yeah, this is a big mistake. But I noticed it immediately, too, in the game. Like I said, this is like 2100 I'm going against, so it's not, you know, people make blunders all the time. It's about capitalizing on them. So I just moved the bishop back. He goes here, and I was just like, okay, let me try to get my bishop on this light square diagonal. He moves his knight, attacking my knight, and I was like, okay, let me just get my bishop to a nice square, you know, just steadily improving my position. He takes, and I'm not in the mood of trading queens. Like, I mean, trading queens is only good for him. That's another thing you should know, when to change the position. Trading queens here is a massive change in the position. It liquidates everything. You know, my lead in development, I still would have a massive lead in development. And, of course, if this trade was forced, like if this came with a check or something, I would accept it. I probably still would be better. But keeping the queens on the board, you know, this does... So I took back with the g-pawn, and this does weaken my king. But you have to know, where are the threats? This knight can't even jump into here. His queen is the only piece in the game. We have my queen in the game, my knight in the game, these two bishops, my rooks are ready to come into the D. This rook on a1 is ready to come in the D file, you know. I'm just completely smashing, like, the lead in development. So, you know, there's threats of bishop d5 if this knight moves. So he pushes his thing here, and I think this just makes this even worse. You know, I just get to get my knight into a better position. You know, he's just like, you know, I probably gain a tempo. That's probably what I played in the next move. You know, he goes knight here, and just getting all your pieces involved. You want to keep on attacking with tempo, keep developing with tempo, and already I'm making a very deadly threat. You know, knight d6 with that pin is pretty devastating, and I think that's what I was trying to go for. And here I was calculating some sacrifices. You know, this is like I'm double attacking this f pawn, and this is an idea in the Von Henning Gambit where you sack this bishop and get a monster knight on e6, and I was even calculating different ideas of taking with the knight first, then the bishop. Oh, no, not like this, my bad. Taking like this. This is another idea I was looking at. I'm not sure how good this is. It's probably still just as good. I look with the engine, but this is another concept if you want to get to, higher level elo chess. You need to know when your position is so good. Like, being a good positional player is something I struggle with. It's something that I've been looking at a lot of Bobby Fischer games, and he plays very positionally, but he said something like, if you play positionally, tactics will flow. Like, if you get all your pieces into great positions. And you should know when all your pieces are, like, on perfect squares. There's got to be some sort of sacrifice. Sometimes it doesn't work. There was a game I had where I thought my pieces were so perfectly placed and I sacrificed. It didn't work, but I actually won the game because it put my opponent under significant pressure. But that's besides the point. But I mean, especially if your opponent has no pieces in the game, like how, like there's got to be something here, like just intuitively, and this is where you should look for when all your pieces are perfectly placed. Like, look at these two bishops are on these nice diagonals, looking at the queen. So this rook's on open file. This queen and rook are staring into the king. This knight, it's in the presence of the king. Like, there's got to be something, and that's where I came up with this idea. It wasn't even. This is very similar in the Von Henning. That's another thing. Taking ideas from other openings, like just taking ideas in general. Like, this is not really an opening. This is a tactic in a trap in the Von Henning, and I'll show it to you in a second. But here I didn't calculate mate. I just knew I could go. Like, he literally can't go anywhere. This is only square, and I knew I could go here. And from here, I was like, okay, there's got to be something here. And check. He goes here, queen e4. And here, I thought I was threatening queen h5 mate, but his knight's guarding it, and this is what I realized. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to remove both of the knights. So I'm going to take with the bishop, then take with the knight. And if he moves the queen, it's probably just mate, and that's what ends up happening. He moves the queen, and this is just mate. Like, he has to take this knight because I'm threatening queen g7 mate. There's really nothing here. I think his only move is like probably here. It's probably like this is just forced mate, like, and that's what ends up happening with 15 seconds left. So I just thought this was a cool game, demonstrating, getting all your pieces on the good squares, rapidly developing, getting all your pieces in good positions, and when the time is right, striking with a devastating tactic, a piece sacrifice. So that's like another thing, I think, a key concept, knowing when to sacrifice is another sacrifice, but also one of the key components is getting all your pieces in good positions, getting your king to safety for the most part, recognizing when weakening your king is actually weakening the king. This is a very weakening move. G takes f3. It's a weakening move, right? But if there are no tangible threats, and I'm such lead in development, there's no point of trading queens. So, that's something you got to evaluate the position like that. And another concept is knowing when all your pieces are in perfect positions and making a devastating sacrifice. And another thing is constantly making threats and overloading your opponents. That's another very key concept. Like, I talked about this before in one of my videos. If you just consistently keep making threats, they're gonna have to make some concession here. Like, this is a concession, like taking here. I mean, he might not have seen it, but this is a concession. It could be much worse than this. Like, it could be checkmate in like 2 moves, but you're not gonna get that. Your opponents aren't just gonna let you checkmate them, but they're gonna make concessions if you keep on putting pressure on them. And just looking at this position, I mean, look, all our pieces are in game. So that's another key idea that you can take away. And I think we'll look at like 1 or 2 more games. Okay, so we'll look at 1 or 2 more games. This guy is currently a 2000, but this is like I said, after I tilted. This is another cool game. And I think it also demonstrates another key idea. It's like more of a concept, which is what an idea is, that you want to, in opposite castle side, you want to create, like, at least when I was watching Bobby Fischer's games, he had this game against, I forgot who it was, but he played a King's Indian attack against the French, and it really demonstrated how, or not even the French, it was the Sicilian Dragon. I always get those two confused. And it really demonstrated how to create opposite castling side situations in which you are the aggressor and you create tangible threats. So that's kind of what I'm going to go through here. This is another concept. I'm just kind of rambling. These are just ideas and concepts I'm throwing out at you guys. And these are more advanced concepts. I think if you want to there's a lot of more basic stuff you should handle first before getting into all this stuff. And it's also just one way to look at it. I'm sure there's a lot more. I like to play aggressive attacking chess. Not that I dislike positional chess. In order to play aggressive chess, you need to be a somewhat good positional player, unfortunately. That's just how it works. Because you can't make every position an attacking position. But that's besides the point. E4, knight f6 is the Alekhine defense. E5. I play this knight c3 move against the Sandwich attack. I talked about this in my opening tier list. This is inaccurate. The whole idea of this opening is you're supposed to damage the pawn structure, but you just basically just get a massive center. That's kind of the idea of it. You kind of just try to hold on to this big pawn chain. It's French-esque. I think this is slightly better for white, though. But he ends up moving his knight a third time for no reason, really. I mean, it wasn't really attacked. So, I mean... and we get a similar idea here. He just takes, alleviates the pressure. This is all just normal developing stuff. By the way, yeah, keep in mind, this isn't really theory, by the way. So this is another thing that you need to just create good moves. Like, that's another thing. Like, if you make good moves, this is another good thing. Just don't blunder and make good positional moves. If there isn't an attacking initiative, I think that's a big if. If you can find attacking ideas, play aggressively. Play aggressively all you want. But there's so many times, like, you'll get a dry position out of, like, the first three moves. Your opponent plays, like, I don't know, d6, g6, play some, like, shenanigans that you can't really attack right away. You want to play good moves that improve your pieces and don't blunder anything. And you'll go to, like, 2200. Honestly, that's a very good concept. But the only problem with that concept is you need to also you have to have really good tactical awareness. You have to good tactical awareness, and you should also not just only look at that. You should look at tactics too. Look at piece sacrifices within that. But if you have nothing else to do, like if you don't see a straight, concrete idea, concrete sacrifice, some idea, and you can't play moves towards that, you should just play good positional moves. Don't blunder. And prophylaxis, eliminate your opponent's move. So bishop d6 is just a prophylactic move, overprotecting this pawn. I mean, it's already technically under attack because the knight's pressured, but bishop e2, just, getting rid of this pin. These are all very solid moves. They're not really attacking. But as soon as I see this bishop move, and also taking advantage of this open f-file, taking advantage of open files with your rooks, that's another key concept. A lot of beginners don't really take advantage of their rooks. The rooks are a very powerful piece, and that's exactly what I do. And in my mind, I was thinking, if he takes with this bishop, I can take with the rook and just lift it to the h3 square, and probably put my queen on h5 and create lots of threats. Maybe not even queen h5, maybe bishop d3, then queen h5. So I think that's exactly what happened. That's why I took with the rook and not the bishop, because if he castles kingside, my rook is going to be really nicely placed, But this is where the change happens in the game. He takes here, I take here, and also I open up the b file, So if he castles long, I can use my rook on the b file, that's another thing I was thinking. And he goes here, and he's simply just double attacking my bishop and queen. I think I said I wanted to keep the bishop, so I played bishop d2. Yeah, I played bishop d2 because I wanted to keep the bishop. And I wanted to kick out his knight. That's another thing. Knowing when to trade and when not to. Here, maybe some of you guys would play queen d2, which I don't think is a bad move, but I think bishop d2, kicking this knight out, where does the knight have to go? It has to go, it can't even go to, it can go to b4, but I'm just going to put my rook on the b file, put even more pressure on it. I don't know if you guys can visualize it, like, bishop d2, he goes queen here, but okay, I can't even play the moves myself, but bishop d2 here, like you guys can, oh my god, bishop d2 here, like I can do something like this. But that's not what happened. He played queen h5, and this is where I was like, okay, he's definitely gonna castle kingside, so I'm gonna have to, keep in mind I can use my rook on the b file now. And I was even thinking, this is what comes in handy too, I can slide my rook on f3 to b3, and then I can use my queen on f5 to f6. So I can slide my rook on f3 to b3, and then I can use my queen on f5 to f6. So once the c-pawn moves. That's another, like, just these little maneuvering ideas I think are very important. This is more about the game, but so I play rook h3. I was like, okay, where do you want your queen to go? Because my bishops are so well placed on my king side, like it kind of covers everything. So I think he moves back, yeah. And I was like, okay, here I'm gonna put my rook on the b file. Just simple improving moves, and not only improving moves. If he wants to castle queen side into my rook, so be it. It's like double edged. You're giving your opponent concessions, right? They don't want to castle either way. I mean, honestly, like, and they don't want to stay in the center, but they have to make the best out of the cards they're dealt, really. And those are the positions you want to put your opponent in. So he decides to castle queenside, and this is where I saw this idea to slide the rook to b3 and play c4, and I think that's exactly what I played. Yeah, I pushed this again because I was like, okay, where is your knight going? Where is the knight going? It's going nowhere. And then, put the rook on b1, and then he makes another concession. He has to play like what? b6. This is even worse. I can attack this. I can put my bishop on b6 now, which is what I do. And already here, I'm looking at rook sacrifices. I don't think it works in this position exactly, but c3, I don't know if it's the most accurate move. This is like a move that I didn't know if it was good because it was too slow is what I was thinking. But I was thinking also it prevents any counter. Yeah, queen f3 is what they're recommending. Yeah, queen f3 is what they're recommending. So c3 is a miss. Yeah, queen f3 makes so much more sense. I don't know how I didn't see that. But immediately when I played this, I kind of knew this was a miss because it's too slow. But at the same time, I was like, okay, how is he going to take advantage of this? So queen f3, yes, is the way more accurate move. But like I said, that's something I should have seen. Here, I just go queen e2. And, I'm just protecting the bishop, getting my queen on the light squares. That's another cool concept, knowing when to maneuver your pieces in. My piece is not really going to get in through this diagonal right here. It's going to probably get through on this diagonal. So, queen here, he plays pawn up, and here I'm just going to shatter. I'm just going to open up this b file. I'm just going to open this up. Like, he takes, I move back, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just open everything up. And I knew immediately this is a mistake, and everything just comes crashing through. This is just devastating. Here, I actually had a cool tactic. Not here, I think. Is it here? I don't know where I had it. Oh, yeah, it was here. I could have played this, and this is just mate, but I missed it. I saw it right after I played it, but the game ends in a... The game ends in, like... Let me just fast forward. I actually played pretty accurate this game, which I was happy with. I played 84 accuracy, so I was pretty happy with this game. The only miss I really had was a c3 idea, I think. Not even. Did it really... It says c3 is good. Okay, c3 isn't even bad, okay. It's a move that doesn't change the position, is exactly what I was thinking. That's a concept I referred to earlier. But just smashing this b file open, just recognizing that all my pieces are too good, and that's where I missed the mate. And here this is low time, so I was just like, let me just win the queen. Let me just mate him. But yeah, that was the other game. So I guess to really illustrate, the main concepts, it would be getting your pieces in good positions, knowing when to sacrifice, keeping the initiative, and I guess maneuvering. I didn't really talk about it much, but infiltrating with the queen and the rooks, finding key squares to infiltrate with. And I think if you guys do all that, you'll get to 2,000 in no time. 2,000 isn't even that high. Like, I used to think 2,000 is good. It's really not. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this 2,000, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Like, not really a tutorial or anything, but just a recap of some of my games. And yeah, hopefully you found it somewhat entertaining. I guess it's like road to 2,100 or 2,200. I want to keep on playing with Blitz. Rapid, I do like Rapid, but I think Blitz, I'm having a lot more fun with Blitz. It's very similar to Rapid, but You know, I think Blitz is a lot more popular. Like you look at this, I'm around the same rating. I'm 99.2%. Here I'm 99.7%. Like it's not that big of a difference, but and also I just have more fun with it. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day. I might release like a puzzle video or a Gambit's tier list or something. I'm probably not gonna. I'll probably play like I don't know, not anytime soon. I want to chill a little bit. I'll probably play 1 or 2 games. I might commentate tomorrow or something. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed.